And I have set up live streaming on YouTube right now. There should be a message on your screen that you can see. And then remember that there will be a delay.
Steve saying of 20 or 30 seconds.
And that message is blocking half of Trisha's screen for me, the interpreter.
Do you want me to take it?
If I can't figure it out, we're okay now.
Okay.
So Trisha, if you can lock in the 7 people now and pin those people, but when it comes time to share, then those videos are going to move and alter, so be aware. And I'm seeing the live. I want to look at one more thing. Okay. Okay. Can see that now on the live stream. Okay. I'm dying right now. So sharing the agenda, each of you should have a copy that was sent via email. So I will share that on my screen and then close it. Sorry. And I will call this meeting to order at 6:07. Everyone is here with the exception of Patty Parker, who was unable to make it tonight. Item number 2, the approval of all of our agenda items. Please review that.
This is Steve Longo.
Just ignore that. Are you ready to approve the agenda as? Please sign yes.
This is Steve. I wanted to add, in terms of the bylaws, that we will post the update of the bylaws. It has to be posted for 30 days so that there is an opportunity to review and accept them before they are voted on and become official. So should we look at the bylaws?
I am trying to figure that out right now.
And we can do that under announcements.
I want to make sure that the agenda is approved so we can move forward. People are indicating, give me just a moment.
Steve Longo is saying the YouTube is working, even though people are saying they can't get in. It is working. That might be a delay.
And Tricia is saying we're trying to work out the logistics. There seemed to be some sort of YouTube issue.
Steve Longo saying YouTube's up. It's working. I can see it. I see it very clearly. Jessica, can you see it? Okay.
Where do you find it? One moment.
Yeah, DHHSC has the link.
Should have the information on the flyer.
Yeah,
The link should be there.
Steve Longo says, yeah, the link is there.
Just trying to ensure that Jessica has access, that everyone has access. This is Tricia. Under the Board of Directors, if you'll click on that where it says meeting dates, there should be a link there that you can select in order to get in. Item number 3 on the agenda, approval of the August board meeting minutes. We have a motion.
This is Steve. I'm just waiting for recognition. I move to approve the board minutes from the August meeting as read.
Do I have a second?
Jamie Johnson Clay says, yes, I second.
Jamie? Making sure I'm using the proper name sign and recognizing you appropriately. Yes, Jamie seconds. Now for my report. I do want to forewarn you that it is a little lengthy tonight. I have a long list of things to share, as you can see on this sheet of paper. I have typed it up, my bedtime story. So this fall, we are finally at a point where it's a little bit cooler. We're not dealing with quite the heat. But with all of the wildfires and everything that has been happening, I am hopeful that you are in a safe place, that you are with your families and you have a source of support. These fires have been a little bit frightening. Please be patient with me. Today, I want to introduce our new board members who are here with us today. I'm very excited to have them here with us and look forward to working together as we move forward through the year. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your participation.
Should we introduce them? Steve's asking.
Yes, I will. We'll do that at the point of general board comments. We'll make sure everybody introduces themselves at that point. We do have a few positions available. One is for the vice president, the other is for a fundraising chair, and the other is for a public relations representative. And we will talk about that a little later during the meeting under new business, and hopeful that we can take a vote and move forward with that. I know we have been a little bit, we've had a little bit of a struggle with our board dues. We now have set up a PayPal link that makes it much easier for people to pay their dues through the PayPal link. Please do so indicate that it is the DHHSC board dues, so the money is funneled and credited appropriately in the books, board member dues. Please make that note when you pay your monthly dues. Additionally, I am hoping that we can do some revisions with the bylaws, and we're going to need to move that discussion up. Currently, it is a little unclear. The information about the dues is at the very end in the addendum. We want to move that further up in the information so that it is readily available and visible and accessible. There were a few laws that were passed a few years ago in regards to honorary board members, meaning that they are essentially full-time board members, and that is not where we need to be. There are 4 individuals in that category. One is Nan Barker, Marilyn McCollin, Paul Ogden, and Kathy Dirksen. Also Jonathan Silva. So we actually have 5 honorary board members. And so what we need to do is revise the position title, and we need to set them up as advisory members, advisory board members. And that allows them to keep they can be supportive, but be neutral in terms of the support. So we will work on making that revision in our bylaws and add that stipulation, that understanding. In reviewing some of the board information as it relates to DHHSC, we definitely need to make some changes on the website. There is information that is lacking, and I want that to have greater accessibility. Currently, it is all one website, but I do believe that we should have a separate designation so that it is more accessible and visible for all and not difficult for the community members to find. I also would like to see captions and titles there, which includes a revision in the bylaws. The bylaws that are posted are old bylaws, so we need to update those bylaws and make sure those are appropriately posted on the website. Our current board shows job titles that are more specific. My preference would be is that the job titles are a little more general for privacy reasons, and I do not want to reflect any sense of ranking, one person being superior to another. So my preference is that in terms of our titles, they are more generic and general so that there is a greater sense of equality. And I would also like to see each of the board members create their own brief video that introduces themselves. My name is Tricia. I am currently serving as your board president. Just something very simple so people can connect a name, a face, and a sense of who you are and get to know us a little bit better. In focusing on the bylaws, I am hoping to add a new section as it relates to social media. I think we need to go in greater depth in establishing those guidelines because we are heavily dependent to on the internet and our online, and our roles as representatives of DHHSC, we need to maintain a sense of professionalism. Therefore, we need to be conscious of what is posted on social media. I am moving to page 2, which means I'm almost done, so please be patient. In terms of the bylaws, it's my hope that we can have a board retreat and that we can have a working time to work on the bylaws section by section. During the month of December, we will vote on the new bylaws and then present those to the DHHSC attorney, make sure that everything is in compliance with state, local, federal laws before we move forward and adopt those bylaws as our new bylaws. And lastly, I have a number of students who have been working on various projects. We are looking forward to their successes, and I'm hoping to see each of your support, encouraging them. They are our future. Some have hosted and will host various events via Zoom, some having to do with art, yoga, Halloween, and a variety of different types of events. And I would appreciate your support and encouragement so that the students will feel encouraged. It's been tough for these students during the pandemic, and the lack of connection with the community has been challenging. They'd love to have face-to-face interaction, but that's not safe. So they are working, they have many projects in the work, and we want to keep things simple, but we want to keep the orientation with family, friends, children, and the like. I'm also working, DHHSC is working with the ASL Club to host a Halloween party. The proceeds from that event will go to support DHHSC. And that is generous and kind, and we want to support that endeavor from the ASL Club. And lastly, one last point, please make sure that you vote. Exercise your right to vote. There was a time where we did not have that. So it is important. Exercise your right to vote. We have the entire month to vote prior to November 3rd. So please do vote, and thank you for your attention and your time. I am finished with my report. We will go to item number 5, the Vice President's report, which we do not have tonight. Item number 6, the Secretary's report. Do we have a report, Madam Secretary?
This is Serena. Nope, nope report.
And now, looking at item number 7, I lost my place for a moment. The Treasurer's report. Steve, I will share the screen. And Nikki, the last time we shared, I could not see Steve.
Okay, I can see both, so we should be fine.
I do want to let you know that I am going to be sharing the screen momentarily. Be prepared for that.
Steve Longo saying, okay, August 31st. All right. Hello to the new board members. I want to explain a little bit about how these treasurer reports work. You'll see it opens with checking and savings, showing the balance at the top. And that reads $371,028.96. That is as of August 2020. So that means our report for that month is where we stand. Below that is a breakdown of that balance. You'll see them itemized there. You'll see accounts receivable, also using the acronym AR. Specifically, the first one is related to grants. Michelle will go into a bit more detail later about those grants and how the board can be involved in advising her that way. It used to be that grants were not handled by the board at all, but there will be some involvement of the board moving forward, and that is because grants are becoming much more strict than they were before, and so we're needing to roll up our sleeves a bit more and really start working on that. We'll kind of nitpick a little bit. So you'll see $315,077 for the accounts receivable grants. That's outstanding invoices not yet collected. Below that, you will see accounts receivable for the interpreting. So that is for our interpreting services. You'll see the invoices not yet collected stand at $55,951.93. So we're still working on getting those invoices collected. Below that, you'll see the total for accounts receivable, again, sitting at $371,028.96, which matches checking savings balance I mentioned earlier. So that is the money that is not yet in the account. Yes, a question? Trisha's
Yes.
saying we're gonna.
Needs to be spotlighted because I cannot see that on YouTube.
Steve's saying, okay. One moment.
Yes, a question? Just saying we're gonna.
So
Needs to be spotlighted because I cannot see that on YouTube.
is that working now?
Do you think, okay,
Nicole, can you pin Tracy?
one moment. Yes, a question? Just saying we're gonna. Is that working now? Okay.
Nicole, can you pin Tracy?
One moment.
All right, back to Steve Longo now. So again, you see our checking and savings account balance there. Moving down, you'll see the next section is accounts payable. We don't have many bills that are outstanding that we still have left to pay. That sits at $116.65. The board private fund fiscal year balance sits at $122.28. And that is the board's contribution to our private fund, separate from DHHSC. This is anything from fundraising or from board retreats, etc. Below that, you will see the board private fund cumulative fund balance, and that's $17,694.01. And this is what we can use to support DHHSC. We've used this for donations to help DHHSC with a new roof. So that is where those funds would come from. The last section is our per profit and loss statement overall. Below that, you'll see our DSS funds. And that's where we get the bulk of our funds for DHHSC. We've just started a new cycle. This runs July 1st to July 30. We received $1,062,017. To date, of that, we have spent $169,529. This goes towards staff, equipment, supplies, other expenses, leaving us currently $892,487.15. That's what we will use up by June 30th, 2021. Paul Barnett does a great job, as he always does, in making sure that we are tracking and using up these funds to the penny every year. Once we do that, DSS can see that we need every penny that they give us. As we continue to spend it, they will continue to fund us. So we always want to watch this and make sure that as we get to June 30th, we have used up our funds. But do know that Paul Barnett watches that, and it's not a frivolous spending. It is quite a well-oiled machine. And so if you will see in total here, June 30th, 2021, you'll see that number that reads 892,000 approximately will be zero. So this is August. So Tricia, if we can go to the next one. And if you will see, before it was $371,000, now it's $489,366 because we have received some of the monies in the accounts receivable that we hadn't yet as of August. So that could be from interpreting, that could be from donations, but that's why you see a larger number in our checking and savings account balance. You'll see $327,339 for grants. For interpreting, $96,970. So that's come up quite a bit for interpreting. Interpreters have been busy. So the total for accounts receivable, what we still need to collect, sit at $417,309.99. Accounts payable, what we still have to pay, sits at $8,374.10. So those are bills that we have received and need to pay. So that will be coming out of our balance that you see at the top, just so you see the difference there. Board private fund fiscal year balance, not a great change, pretty much the same as it was the previous month. And then the last section from DSS, Department of Social Services, that $1,062,000 is the same. What we were awarded for the year, that will stay the same for the fiscal year. But what you will see is the change in the expenditure. Currently, $268,862 is what's been spent, leaving us with still more to spend before the end of the fiscal year. And Michelle will go into a bit more detail about events and such in her executive director's report. And our remaining balance to spend of our DSS funds sits at $793,154.46. So we're making that steady progress. So we will see that gradually go down again with that goal, June 30th, to use every last penny. Basically, Paul, Michelle, and the treasurer will work together, and if there are any concerns, they will work on that. Treasurer is also the point of contact for anything related to finance. So if you as a board member have a question, you can work through the treasurer, and the treasurer works with Michelle and Paul to get the answers to those questions. Michelle knows all of that technical information related to DHHSC, so she can make that connection for us. So far we've been very, very stable. There have been no issues, no concerns. Everything has been stable, and Michelle is confirming that. To the bylaws that Tricia was mentioning, we saw that there was some work needed in the bylaws. We're going to call the first phase the first edition. And we needed a regular meeting in order to vote and pass that. And there had been some changes, and there wasn't consistently with that monthly meeting. So our goal is to have really 4 parts.
Hold on just one moment. Let me take the treasurer's report off the screen. Stop sharing. Sal is indicating 8. Spotlight. Don't forget that. We now have the executive director's report. Michelle, are you ready for that? One moment. If Michelle shares her screen.
Michelle's saying I won't be.
No. Okay, we'll just leave it. And can the interpreter see? Give us one moment. Nikki, do you feel okay to go with Michelle, or do you want me to go with Michelle?
I'm good. Just back me up.
I will. Tracy, this is Sal, just checking to make sure that Nicole can see. And Nicole is indicating it gets confusing with Nicole and Nikki and who's talking, and several people are signing at the same time. I just want to make sure that Tracy is accessible to you, Nicole. And Nicole is responding yes. Okay, so now we will go to Michelle.
Saying I have a lot to share. I will try and go as quickly as possible. I know the time is limited. We have applied for 2 grants, but were turned down for them both. One was the Dollar General, and the other one was the Monterey McGives, and we were turned down for both. They're both very, very competitive grants. We will continue to try. We'll try again next year. With COVID, everybody's applying for grants, so it's highly competitive. They're hard to secure. I appreciate what we do get. We also applied for the First 5 in Merced. The goal for that grant was to develop a parent video with 2 purposes in mind. One is a video for hearing parents with deaf children, but also one that addresses deaf parents with hearing children. And they could each have separate focuses. The hearing parents could learn about the importance of sign language, the AB 210, the language development milestones outlined in that. Those can be identified. We can provide encourage them to provide a caption-rich environment. And then that's the goal for the hearing parents. For the deaf parents with hearing children, we're going to focus on CODAs, KODA, CODA issues, kids of deaf adults. We've noticed that many of our deaf parents are saying, oh, the hearing children, they already know, I don't have to tell them. Many times stories aren't signed to them. They don't talk about schedules. They aren't taught about family rules or traditions or stories or culture or anything. And really the hearing kids assumed to be fine are missing out on a lot. So we really want to develop 2 different videos with that grant. So that's the purpose. We'll be finding out in December if we've been approved for that grant. So fingers are crossed for that one. Also wanted to say thank you, board, for your donations. Monterey contacted us saying we're on track for the review for the grant for the communication assistance program for Salinas. That one includes interpreting services for the deaf staff. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You have saved us, and hopefully we will find out very, very soon where we stand on that grant. Agency updates. There are a few. Harold Fox, the deaf man, a deafblind gentleman, will be performing November 20th. It will be 6 to 7 p.m. Tickets are $5 each. The payment is done through PayPal. And once payment is secured, you'll be paid or sent a Zoom link that is secured. We just want to make sure that it's fun and it's uplifting. We want to really lift the community spirit and morale. So many people are stuck at home. We thought something fun and entertaining, something that somebody could watch and laugh at would be nice. I've never heard of him personally, but it came as a recommendation from a staff. What I did watch, I enjoyed very, very much. And I think it's something that the community will enjoy. I will say it is for ages 18 and above, due to language. So just put it out there so that those of you who have children know that it will be for ages 18 and up. Zoom has a max of 100 people. So we just bumped that up to 500. And that will happen in November so that we can get as many people as possible for that event to take part and enjoy. So please, please, please spread the word. Friends, families, colleagues, students, tell them all to join. It'll be a great time. For Fresno headquarters, as you know, we had planned the annual holiday luncheon that has now been changed to a holiday car parade. We will pass out foil covered
Meals.
plates. We will have salad. We'll pass those out. We'll say hello and wave to the kids. There will be small gifts for the children. We want to get people out of the house, get them outside, but also safely. So again, want to raise that holiday spirit. And since we can't have the luncheon, we're going to have the car parade. We're just trying to figure out maybe how many people for whom we should be buying food, because normally in person, we're talking 200 to 250 people. But with the car parade concept, we're really not sure. Is it going to be 100? Is it going to be 150? So we're working on those numbers to try and plan for that. Outreach offices will have holiday Zoom events, and it includes ASL stories, artwork, whatever they would like to do. But the only requirement is that it has to be on different days. So I think the Fresno is December 6th. And the outreach offices will select a different day. And then people can partake in each of them and enjoy them all. I think it's a positive aspect of it being on Zoom. You can connect from anywhere, certainly anywhere in California. So holidays would be Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, all holidays, not just Christmas. It will be a focus and recognition for all holidays. As Tricia mentioned, we are working with many Fresno State students who are trying to work on projects, and we have business needs. And so we're trying to make this joint effort work. November 14th, will
At 10
be
o'clock.
at 10 o'clock, and that will also be $5. And with that $5, they'll get their Zoom link and the passcode, and it'll be a fun event. We haven't tried something like this before, so it will be a little bit new for us.
Yoga.
Yoga.
Thank you. And that event with the ASL students will be for a yoga event. Now the interpreters are caught up. One student works at Dutch Brothers Coffee and got us connected with their manager, who will provide training on deaf culture and deaf sensitivity. I'm very excited about this, I have to say. I wish that one was in person. I really do wish. But, you know, because then I could get my coffee for free, but oh well, that's okay. Still very exciting. This Saturday, there will be a painting workshop. Deaf artist from Riverside will be partaking. John.
Vincent?
I don't know. I can't.
Jacqueline Vincent.
Thank you. Please, if you have not yet registered for this event, do sign up. It is again this Saturday. It is $15, 1 to 3 p.m. is the time frame. And because again, there are no in-person events, we will be doing a lot of Zoom workshops, and we'll have deaf kid chats, deaf tween chats. For those in-betweeners, we'll have deaf CODA, K-O-D-A, CODA kids chats. Right now, we're really wanting to focus on the census for one, but also emergency preparedness. And soon we'll be working on COVID certification. So we are hoping to start that next week and finishing that December 30th or 31st. Was there a question, Tricia?
Susan indicated that the paint night is 1 to 4.
Yes. I think the flyer reads 1 to 3, which I thought was interesting. Yes, 1 to 4. Thank you for that correction. That gives me more time to do my painting. Thank you. Lastly, well, really 2 things. You may or may not be aware of a match grant with the combined federal campaign. There will be typically booths and people from organizations making presentations and such. But again, with everything moving to the virtual platform, they have decided to have a weekly focus, like a weekly topic. So one week it would be arts and crafts. Another week it would be human rights. Another one would be education. Yet another would be family and children's services. So every week there will be a different focus. And so it's kind of a rush to develop 1-minute videos to talk about how our services for the deaf and hard of hearing community match that particular theme. So then we can really get the word out about what we do. It's a really great opportunity to showcase DHHSC and who we are. And that's keeping our media man very, very busy. It'll give him something to do every week. Lastly, December 1st, we have our hashtag Giving Tuesday. So please, 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 please support DHHSC and spread the word, because the more we get the word out, the more people are going to know about DHHSC. And the biggest word of mouth really comes from personal touch. And so we would like to ask for your help in please spreading the word. We are all part of the team, and we can do this. Everything's virtual, so make sure we are seen. Thank you. And that's it.
Wow. Back to Tricia. A very informative report. Thank you, Michelle. Lots of information, lots to think about. DHHSC has not been sitting back and doing anything. They've been very active, very busy. We do not have a fundraising report for you tonight. We are hoping that we will have somebody to fill that position in the near future. Looking at item number 10, we will go to general board comments. I want to check in with you as new board members. If you would take a moment to introduce yourself so that others can become a little more aware of who you are, and who would like to go first. And going to Sal. Hello, hello. My name is Salvador Garcia. People call me Sal. I am Mexican. I am a deaf male. I was born and raised in the Central Valley, in Tulare, to be specific, which is a small community, but close to all the communities within traveling distance. I am also an ASL educator. I teach ASL classes. I teach in schools throughout the area. I work a lot with community colleges. And I also work with the university professors. I don't work at the university, but I work closely with the professors who are there. I've been involved with DHHSC since college, and Michelle and I have grown up, and it is time for me to give back to this community. And there is a huge need. We want support, we want diversity, and I want to be able to give back, which is why I'm here. Thank you so much, Sal. And do I need to mention my position, Tricia? Tricia, do I need to share my board position, what I'm wanting to do?
You can if you would like.
You can express your interest, that's fine. I'll wait till new business, Sal says. Okay, back to Tricia. Jessica, if you would share a little bit about yourself, please.
Hi, my name is Jessica, and I learn sign language with the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Service Center with the ROCK program. I have 3 children who have a hearing loss. They wear hearing aids. So I frequent Valley Children's a lot. I know a lot about audiology now. And I'm very thankful for all the services you've given me and the friendship and the community. My children, they enjoy sign language, and it has helped them immensely because of COVID and Zoom. So now I actually act as their interpreter, even though I'm not fluent in sign language. And I'm very thankful that I have known Nicole Hurt since 2001. She has introduced me to so many new, deaf culture ideas that I didn't even know. And so at the end of the day, I'm glad to be here. I'm honored that you asked me to be part of the board. I serve as a deaf advocate here in Tulare County. And when I'm out and I see people and they say something to me about my children, I like to educate them. I was at first very upset and angry because it was different for me when people would tell me comments about my children. But now I'm able to have grace and carry myself with a different level of respect and teaching others who are hearing why it's important for them to learn sign language. So I am a teacher. I homeschool the 3 children. I do speech therapy. And my goal one day is to work for Valley Children's as a speech therapist and incorporate sign language. So thank you so much. And I actually run a podcast. And when you listen to my podcast, I make sure it's transcribed so the deaf can partake in hearing my podcast episodes.
Wonderful. Welcome, Jessica, and thank you for sharing. Who is next? Jamie, would you like to go next?
Sure.
Go next.
Nicole can go. Hi there, my name is Nicole, and I've grown up deaf and more recently become deafblind. And I went for the Helen Keller training at the Helen Keller Center and learned a lot. I was a little bit concerned at first, but from what I've learned, I look forward to sharing that with people. I'm also involved with the deafblind support group. And I also grew up here in the Valley, born and raised in Visalia, and was making use of DHHSC services my entire life and have been very, very grateful for that. In college, I moved to Fresno and I volunteered for DHHSC a lot, and I would volunteer for events and all kinds of things. After college, I moved to Monterey. I worked for DHHSC there, got a little bit of experience there in 3 different positions. One being employment, a little bit more about independent living, and then became more focused on clients. And I really enjoyed my time and felt very fortunate for that opportunity. And I got my master's degree in special ed, and my passion is advocacy and deaf children education and mentoring. Deaf culture has a special place in my heart. I like to share with others about deaf culture and really enjoy mentoring. So I hope that I can continue to support this organization that I have loved for a long time.
Thank you so much, Nicole, and welcome to you as well. And now we'll go to Jamie. And my name is Jamie Clay. I just moved back. With all of these fires, I have maintained my safety, and I've decided to get away from the mountains, and I'm here where it is safe, where it's flat. I was raised in Madera. I grew up in Madera from the time I was 13 years old, and I loved my former job with DHHSC, which I did for 1 year and 2 months. And I had 3 different responsibilities caring for various seniors, 3 different positions, and I'm enjoying that very much. There is definitely a need. There are seniors that have difficulty communicating, and I'm working with them and practicing communication skills and which vocabulary to use or not use. Dementia becomes a part of their lives at a certain point. So I'm assisting in that way. And I am looking forward to supporting DHHSC and building something up. And I have 4 CODAs, and my boyfriend has 3 kids as well. So between the 2 of us, we have 7. So our hands are full. Yes, craziness, a little craziness going on. Okay. Nicole?
Yes, and where are you from again? I missed that.
I'm sorry. Originally, I was in Prather, and then I escaped from Prather because the fire went back to my hometown in Chowchilla, which is where my boyfriend and I are living and looking for a home in Madera, where I was raised.
Excellent. Thank you.
Great variety, Tricia is saying. People from different areas of the valley and life, which is nice. Looking at our agenda, I'll look at number 9, excuse me, and number 11. I've got a number problem today. I'm just being straightforward about that. There's no
Unfinished business.
unfinished business. Thank you. And I do have 3 other issues, but I am concerned with the time. I am thinking in terms of prioritizing. I would like for one of you to make a motion to create a new position as an advisor to the board. And so that those honorary board members that we have currently had as a part of our group are changed to become advisory members. It's important that we're compliant with the law, and that is why we want to make that change. So I do need someone to make a motion to that regard. In terms of the new position, I know we'll need more time with that. We have a limited amount of time. I'm not sure how to resolve adding the new board members and that dilemma. The positions that we have vacant, we need to have voted on, but we are also constrained by time. What area would you prefer to move forward and discuss?
Steve's saying, I think we need to first look at the bylaws and ensure that we have that in there before we proceed.
Or
We talk about it more. For the honorary board changing to advisors to the board, I think we need to make a change.
I'll defer to Michelle.
This is Michelle. I quickly wanted to explain. This came up because of the COVID grant. They were reviewing the bylaws and they said, eek, we noticed that your bylaws read with some very antiquated verbiage. There was a law that was passed several years ago where the term honorary board member should not be used anymore. So we need to change that. We had no idea. So with the COVID grant, it's really forcing us to delve deep into many things where we need to update, and this would be one of them.
Okay, in that case, then I move that we I will create a second edition, distribute that to the board members so that we can move forward on that. I will do a second revision and update on those bylaws.
Trisha saying, please do that as soon as possible. That greatly is going to impact the grant for the agency. So the sooner the better. Okay, looking back at the agenda, and talking about the vacancies that we have, they are vice president, fundraising, and public relations.
What is PR?
PR is public relations. So whether that be related to posting, it's fine. Please ask. Anytime there is a question, we need clarification or something repeated, please don't hesitate to ask.
Yes, thank you.
Again, anytime you want to know. Don't just nod in agreement, even though you don't know what we're talking about. Okay, so those are our 3 vacancies. The voting process is a bit complex. We still need to figure out how to approach this through Zoom in terms of, and we just have now frozen video. 1 second. Trisha saying my internet is in the process of dying at the moment. So the private session would be hard to do through Zoom, and it has to be such that the nominees don't see or are not part of that conversation. So I'm not really sure how to proceed at this point, given the state of technology as we have to use it. So I want to open this to the board for ideas and discussion.
This is Steve. I'm thinking maybe we should wait until December so we get to know the various board members, and then that would allow them the chance to explain what positions they're interested, and we can make the best choices.
And this is Sal. As I'm interested in the position of vice president, it's my understanding that I have to wait until December, but I'm trying to figure out how to say this. That kind of feels unfair to others who have already been on the board, who might want to start in a position, because I could already start working with Trisha in the vice president capacity if given that opportunity, but then I might have to wait until December. So all of that then is left to Trisha to carry on her own. I just think, I don't know, I don't want it to look badly on DHHSC. I think we might have to override the voting system given COVID and where we are right now, because we're already kind of on task in terms of the bylaws for this grant. And so now, with nobody filling the vice president position, I don't want that to create an even bigger issue for DHHSC. I don't know. What do you think, Michelle?
This is a tough one because the board is the one to make the decision, and I respect the board. I do know that I need board support. I definitely need board support. We have tremendous amount going on, and I need your support. I will respect your decision and how you move forward.
This is Steve Longo. I'd like to respond to Sal. Trisha's president, vice president is then under Trisha. It seemed to be working okay without a vice president thus far. And yes, we need a vice president. I would suggest that those who are interested, it's really hard to get together physically as COVID is preventing that. So I'd like to throw it out there, those who are interested in being vice president, to submit reasons why I would like to be vice president so it can be considered and discussed privately, and then move to the selection process to be voted on. And with 3 new members and the standing board members not knowing the new board members, I think it would be nice to have not rush to fill these positions, but we do have to have vice president filled. That's really, really important. So if we could have a little bio from each person and why you're interested, that'd be great.
And Sal is saying, I'm just thinking about Trisha, and Trisha is saying, thank you so much. I am doing a lot, and it is tough. I cannot be, nor do I desire to be, a one-woman show, but I would like to table this discussion at this point, and we will move forward, have a private meeting where we can further discuss and definitely make a vote in December and start our new year ready, appropriate. And Michelle.
I wanted to throw out maybe having an emergency meeting in November where this discussion can happen.
And Tricia said that was part of my thinking already. I move to table this discussion for the new positions and to postpone that to a later time as noted.
This is Steve. Wait. There hasn't been a second,
I said I move.
but it's still not a live motion yet until it's seconded. So before we move to discussion.
Okay, so do we have a second?
This is Nicole. I have a question. For PR, because again, I'm new to this. How does that work with Alexander Sanborn? I'm sorry if I misspelled his name, but I know that he works closely with DHHSC in terms of social media, but how does that work with a PR position on the board?
And Tricia is saying that is why I am making the motion to please table this discussion, which means to hold this discussion on about the fundraising chair, the vice president, the PR representative, so that until we know a little bit more, we'll just put this discussion on hold. But in order to do that, I made that motion. I need a second to.
This is Steve. I second it.
Okay, so that has been seconded. And all in favor of tabling this discussion? Okay, if you would so indicate by raising your hand. If you are in favor of tabling the discussion, raise your hand, please. Okay. Seeing that all have voted, are there any that would vote no? Okay. So this discussion will be moved to a later time. I do have one last item of new business. Jessica wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about Halloween safety, the CDC, and I need to make sure that there is a time constraint with that. It cannot be very long, Jessica. We have all three pictures that were sent to me. Would you like me to share those pictures on the screen, Jessica?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want me to share one picture and then the second, then the third, and then you can share what you have to share?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that. And my Zoom will be closing out soon.
So that was the first picture. Here's the second.
Do you want me to explain or afterwards?
After we finished showing all three, we're going to show all three, and then you can talk about all three. So everybody has a moment to view each of those, and then you can discuss it. Thank you. The Spooky Book Festival. And it looks like Tricia may be frozen. The internet has died, Tracy is saying. Okay. We have lost Trisha.
Looks like she's trying to connect right now.
Oh, my Zoom just totally shut down. Oh boy. Give me a moment to compose. Okay. I hope we are okay. I apologize. My Zoom totally closed down. I did nothing to cause it. I'm so sorry that we lost that. And Steve is indicating something. It's showing on YouTube right now. Okay, we're back up and running on YouTube. Okay, I lost everything. My apologies. This is Trisha. Nicole?
I can.
Nicole was saying I couldn't see what was going on while it was being shared, so.
Okay, so those are all three. Jessica, now you have the floor. Go ahead and share if you would.
All right, so I'll be partnering with the Tulare County Library, and you can go to tularecountylibrary.org to find out more information about their online Halloween events. They asked me to create an ASL video to teach Tulare County residents sign language Halloween signs. So I'm going to be doing that right after we finish this meeting, creating a video, and they're going to be putting it on their Instagram, on their Facebook, on their YouTube, and then I'll also be interpreting. I'm actually really excited. My first time. I'm going to be interpreting a Halloween book live through Tulare County Library on YouTube. So I'll be representing the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Service Center and what you guys have taught me. And I hope to inspire people to learn sign language words that are Halloween themed. And then also, I do work with the Tulare Kings Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and I work with Tulare County, and Eddie Valero, he's on the Board of Supervisors. He has advised me that they want to do reverse Halloween trick-or-treating. This is for Tulare County. And what that means is that you'll have the children and the front of your house, and people can drive around the neighborhood and give out candy to the children. There's also recommendations, wear your mask. A costume mask does not count as a mask. So we'll have to think ahead right now and how to incorporate the mask with our costume. My children, I told them, you have to wear your mask if you want to get candy. So that's what we're just gonna have to do this year. It is gonna be different, and it's called Reverse Halloween Trick-or-Treating. You can go to Visalia's podcast, VISA.
Hang on one second. Can you start again? Thank you.
You can go to Instagram and add Visalia's podcast, VISALIAS PODCAST, and you can see the flyer there that outlines the rules and regulations through CDC. And they also recommend that you can have an outdoor costume parade. You can visit a pumpkin patch. Vossler Farms has hand sanitizer, and they enforce wearing your mask. And that's a great way to go out, have fun with your children, and still stay safe. And they also recommend to have a scavenger hunt with your children. So you can, play a fun game with them and include the children, go out, do your parade, still have fun, but keep your distance and know that you need to wear your mask this Halloween season. They said too, even if it's like a Chewbacca mask, that doesn't substitute a cloth facial mask. So we just want to stay safe. This is my daughter right here, sorry. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say, is to head over to the Tulare County Library Facebook page, like their page, add them, share it, because then you're going to see me teaching Halloween ASL signs, and I'm really excited about that.
I'm making notes. Sorry, Jessica. I was busy writing notes. Okay. So I know there's so much to think about, so much to do, and excited about your rolling up your hands and getting involved. It's all very challenging. I do want to check and see if there are any other comments. Checking the comments on YouTube. I'm not seeing much there, but just be aware that the technology of Zoom itself is a challenge to many. The spotlight and working with all of those technical specificities can be a little bit challenging. So I'm wearing a new hat for this meeting, so I appreciate your patience. Looking at number 14 on the agenda, no open meeting or no public comments, no comments from the public. We do have a few announcements, I believe. Steve?
Yes, maybe you are aware of an organization called We the People. They plan to have an award and an honor. So they asked me to go. Let me show you what the masks look like for those who can afford them or may need them.
Please, please.
I think they gave me about 200 I can pass along to you. And there's a yellow card for potentially when individuals are pulled over or stopped by the police, they have that card ready. And they can register with their driver's license and give both to the police officer if need be, so that there is not a miscommunication or a misunderstanding. I think I have probably 500 of those, but I can pass those along. I'm not sure if maybe I should give those to Harvey, who can then give it to you. I'm just trying to think of COVID considerations, but there are those masks that are available, and then also those cards, and I can pass those along.
Very nice. Back to Tricia. Any additional announcements from our board members? Steve, I am hoping that you will be able to get those to Harvey. Please take pictures so that the community can see those. And I have a brief announcement. I will be working with DHHSC, specifically with Alexander, and hoping to have a meeting at DHHSC, and it is a place where people can find it readily and easily.
This is Michelle. Just an additional comment. Anyone who needs a mask, whether that's a community member, staff member, board member, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. We do have them for those who need them, because they're not just for us, but they're also for the community. So if you are in need, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're happy to supply those. We have gloves as well. We have hand sanitizer. We have a small stockpile in the office. So if you should need that, please reach out.
Great, great. Any additional announcements?
I just want to remind people too that we have food banks in Tulare County, and they have a lot of food that they need to get out to people, fresh produce and diapers. And then the Tulare County Sheriff Department, Mike Boudreau, he's amazing, because when you do go to their events to pick up food, you can find it on social media. They give out masks as well. So food and mask distributions are happening here in Tulare County, and we need to take advantage of it.
Thank you. Nicole?
Yes, I had a few questions about the discussions. I'm not sure when the right time would be to ask those questions. This is my first time in a meeting, so I'm not really sure when to interject or when to ask my questions.
Okay, what we will do is I would like to do a closed session, and then you can meet directly with me. And we will stop the YouTube. We will close the regular meeting and then move forward if you'd like to do it that way.
Yes, that'd be great.
Okay. Okay, we will adjourn our meeting tonight at 7:20. And those of you that would like to stay are welcome to stay so we can have a little additional discussion with our new board members. And as a community, please take care. We are winding up our YouTube now. Thanks